Okay, the good news is it looks like GPS found sync, which means that Google Earth should be pulled up on our video. We're turning off of Leeds Avenue, so we are at the Ashley River. We had just left the last video, Wando Wood subdivision, and we are turning onto I-526 eastbound. So we're heading east of the Cooper River, or as the native Charlestonians would say, the Cuppa. We're heading eastbound on I-526. I'm not going to speed compress this video. It'll probably run about 15 minutes or so, at least to get us over the bridge. The large bridge that we'll be crossing is called the Don Holt Bridge. Who Don Holt is, I guess I would have to research that and add it to a link below. But yeah, we're going to be crossing over the Don Holt Bridge, leaving North Charleston, which is the north side of the Charleston Peninsula, and crossing over onto Daniel Island. And then from Daniel Island, we'll be crossing a second bridge, almost as long as the Don Holt, which will take us from Daniel Island, hence Island, onto Mt.Pleasant. Mt.Pleasant is the north side of the low country, off of the Charleston Peninsula, and Highway 17 crosses through there, which will be a video for another day, probably Highway 17 up to Wando, McClellanville. Right now we're crossing over this is International Boulevard, so the airport is right down here, Charleston International. Our Coliseum and entertainment area is over here to the right. I jokingly always say that I stay clear of this area because people are either lost going to the airport for the first time, or they're going to a venue at the Coliseum and they're from out of town and they've never been here. So there's a lot of lost people in this area. Not that I'm not lost too. Then again, all who wander are not lost, right? So now we're crossing over the major, first of all, we'll cross over another interstate. This is the intersection of I-526, excuse me, and I-26. So I-26 basically runs all the way from the bisects South Carolina up by Henderson, North Carolina, and then all the way to the ocean. That's what we just crossed over, I-26. And then 526 is supposed to eventually be a loop, but it is not complete. So it basically just goes from Highway 17 north in Mt.Pleasant to Highway 17 south down west of the Ashley. Now we're crossing over Rivers Avenue. Rivers Avenue is Highway 52. Rivers is the older industrial section. We'll take a whole video of Rivers, at least from Goose Creek, probably all the way, at least halfway, down to the peninsula. It might have to be cut into two videos because of the length of Rivers Avenue, and I can certainly time compress all the time that we stay at red lights. Now, Rivers Avenue, Highway 52, was the major artery of this area before I-26 was built. Once I-26 was built, Rivers became more of a industrial area. So we're getting ready. Over here to the left, we're going to see the paper plant. It used to be West Vaco. Has been sold a couple times. I think now it's called a Capstone. star or something. Again, I'm not going to time compress this because it's just as easy for you to hit fast forward, and if there's anything that you want to see and I have time compress, yeah, then we kind of lost out on that ability, didn't we? As long as I keep these cut to about 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the longest, and don't try to overdo it per video, should be in fairly good shape. Okay, now we're coming up onto the Don Holt Bridge. See it dead ahead, our light blue metal lattice work structure supporting the bridge. I'm going to turn the camera here just a second, so you're going to lose me in the footage. To the right, so we're looking down the Cooper River. There we go. We're looking down the Cooper River toward the ocean. This is the south side of the city of North Charleston. Off in the distance, you can see the triangles of the Ravenel Bridge. We'll cross the Ravenel, but that'll have to be a second video. And I'm going to take this camera off of its mounting and shoot this direction so we can see upriver. See a couple ships moored up there, what we call center channel. And I'm going to put it back, God willing, and the creek don't rise into its mounting. So I should be back in frame now. So that was the Cooper River that we just crossed over. Now we're going on to Daniel Island. Before this interstate was built, Daniel Island was, technically, as the name suggests, an island. So there was nothing here. I should say very little here, because the only way to get here was by boat. There was no island connection, no bridge connecting it. With the advent of the interstate, obviously Daniel Island exploded. And now it's some of the prime property in the Lowcountry, at least in the Charleston area. It kind of took over as the elite area, elite for lack of a better term, from Mt.Pleasant, which used to be considered the high muckety mucks, the high society of the Charleston area was Mt.Pleasant. Then Daniel Island came along and kind of stole some of their thunder. I think Mt.Pleasant was real happy about that. I know they went into a big PR campaign that could kind of get some of their thunder back. You may have seen the big cranes that we saw from the river. And that was the Wando terminal. Wando, because the Wando River, I'll try to point it out on the map. Any good Charlestonian will tell you that, and Wando kind of gets lost out on this, but Charleston is famous because this is where the Atlantic Ocean is formed. This is where the Cooper and the Ashley River meet to form the Atlantic Ocean. I know, a little bit of ego there, right? Hey, every place can have their ego. I kind of like it. But technically it's where the Cooper, the Ashley, and the Wando River meet. There are actually three major rivers that meet here and form the Atlantic Ocean. So here we see a sign, Daniel Island, off to the right. That is going to be the downtown area of Daniel Island. A very nice upscale place. to have some really, really good restaurants. I'm not sure if they still do. There was one that was pirate themed. It was called the Queen Anne's Revenge, and it was a restaurant dash museum from the pirate days. Excuse me. Still a little bit hoarse. Wasn't feeling 100% yesterday, which is unlike me. I never get sick. Over here, I'm out of frame again, I know. Tennis. I'm not sure what the new name for that tennis stadium is right there, but that's a high-end tennis stadium. Back in my day, I kind of jumped the gun with the port. That's the Wando terminal over there that you'll see. Yeah, I was saying it was on Daniels Island. It's actually Mt.Pleasant. So you're looking at all the big ships right there at the Wando terminal. So this is the Wando River we're crossing over. We just crossed over the Cooper with the Don Holt Bridge, and now you're crossing over the Wando River. And I'm not sure the name of this bridge. I know that they've had some issues with this particular bridge structurally, that it had to be closed a couple times, which is odd because it's not a very old bridge. I'm going to turn the camera back into frame so we can get our destination going. Yeah, it's not a very old bridge. You know, again, this whole interstate was built in the mid-90s, so there's no reason it should be in bad shape. I think it was a corrosion issue in some of the support cables running through the cement of the bridge. But they closed it for a while. Thank God I was out of town on one of my adventures out west when that took place, but I certainly got a lot of phone calls and messages saying, hey, the bridge connecting Mt.Pleasant and Daniel Island has been closed, and all the traffic's being sent over the Ravenel Bridge. So yeah, you can imagine that it was when a bridge closes around here, it's a big deal. People are not used to being sent out of the way. Yeah, see, there's the Wando terminal. I apologize, I kind of jumped the gun. I pointed at Clements Ferry as being the Wando terminal, and I was way off with that. I don't plan on going back and modifying the video or the narration. Maybe if I learn how to do my video editor a bit better for Laura 9, I can put a little text in there. Correction, I jumped the gun. So this is Long Point Road. This is the road that terminal is on. Again, one day we'll take a trip from Long Point up to 17, and then north on 17 up to Awandale. Very, very pleasant drive. I don't think it's as pleasant as South 17 headed to Beaufort, which will be a beautiful video. That one we might have to time compress because it's just gorgeous, and I want it to run at least from leaving the Charleston area through Ravenel down till we get to the Beaufort area. Gorgeous, gorgeous stretch of 17. I would say if I didn't live in the Charleston area, Charleston proper, I would live by Beaufort. Beaufort is just a beautiful place. That car in front of us decided that they wanted to get from the far left lane and turn right. Kind of odd here, this road here, that was 17 north, this direction here. We don't head back toward Charleston until 17 south. The entrances and exits are kind of different apart. So we're going to hit 17 south now. probably where the video will split, and part 2 will pick up with 17 South crossing over the Ravenel Bridge. So if you don't stick around for part 2, then it was good seeing you. Again, this is the Tour Eclectic. For the moment, driving through the Charleston area, but we go everywhere. Me and my travel buddy. Charleston South.